Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Use Your Power Show. Use Your Power is brought to you by REV UP Texas, which stands for Register, Educate, and Vote. Use Your Power. We are a collaboration of organizations that are nonpartisan, ready to help build the power of the disability vote. And today we have some very special guests. First, we have Linda Litowsky, who is with channelAustin, and she is going to talk about a very exciting project that she is collaborating on with Art Spark of Texas. I'm going to visually describe myself as a white female with shoulder-length brown hair, and I'm going to ask each of our guests to visually describe themselves. Linda?
I'm a white female with gray, white, long hair, and I'm wearing reading glasses, and I'm old.
And I'm Silva. I am a 41-year-old white female. I have very, very short, very blonde hair from a bottle, not as beautiful as Linda's, this gray hair. I'm wearing pink reading glasses because I think they're fun. And then I have a really wide face because I'm actually originally from Finland, and I like that part of my face, that it looks Finnish.
Well, welcome both of you. I want to give a brief introduction on each of you, and then we'll be asking you some questions about a very exciting project, Don't Diss the Vote. Linda is the executive director of channelAustin, and she is a big-time volunteer with REV UP Texas. We have been so fortunate with her talent and expertise. She's been involved in disability rights since the 1980s, yay, producing documentaries and advocacy films that tell a personal story. She has worked with REV UP Texas since 2014, when we held the first Disability Issues Forum. REV UP has partnered with channelAustin for Don't Diss the Vote project because their mission is creating community in the media, through the media. And now Linda almost works exclusively with the Get Out the Vote mission. And then Silva with Art Sparks of Texas is the director of the integrated dance for Art Spark and Body Shift. In 2009, she attended her first Body Shift intensive and fell in love with this community of dancers. She taught at the rehabilitation center in her native Finland, and then she decided to refocus her career to work in dance with people whose lives have taken a different turn. Her deepest passion is high quality dance education that's inclusive and ignites a passion for lifelong involvement in dance art. Welcome, both of you. Linda,
thank you.
What is Don't Diss the Vote, and how did this project come about?
Don't Diss the Vote came about in the summer of 2021. There was a really cool grant that was out there, and we had about 2 weeks to apply for it. So we went to Art Spark, REV UP Texas, partnered with me and channelAustin, and then we went to Art Spark of Texas to see if they would join us. And Bob said, I said we need a song or some kind of a ditty that we can get people excited about voting. And Bob Kafka said, why don't we do a flash mob? And so it kind of grew from there. And the project itself is a number of things. It's first a collaboration between 3 statewide organizations that work with people with disabilities, and one for the arts, one for media, and one to get out the vote. And all 3 are aligned in this, let's get out your power and get out the disability vote. Second, we came up with a contest for an original song. And this song was based on the project name, which is Don't Diss the Vote, which Art Spark contributed to the grant. And the song that was chosen seemed a bit slow at first, but it is pretty powerful now that it's been recorded with a woman with a disability who will also be one of the principal dancers. Then, in addition to that, to see Bob's vision of a flash mob, there is going to be a choreographed dance to that song, and Silva will speak to that in a few minutes. And when we take all of that together, that dance will be videotaped for a toolkit that will be sent out throughout the state of Texas, and of course to anyone else who wants it, that will hopefully excite people and make them feel passionate about either A, using this package with the original song, the dance, the flash mob, and printed materials that will help get out the disability vote, and also whether they have their own flash mob or they just use the pieces that we send or that we provide. So that's what Don't Diss the Vote is, kind of in a nutshell, a bunch of things.
That's very exciting. The power of music does affect what we do. And Silva, it's very important to have the aspect of the choreography of the Don't Diss the Vote. Can you explain to us why that's important? And how will this choreography help share the message of the song?
So I think one of the things is that we move all the time in our own unique ways, and we are going to emphasize that everybody's own unique movement within the context of voting and voting rights and fun and community and coming together with a powerful message. So I think when we wrap things into a fun, community engaging, accessible event, it just sparks interest. It makes our bodies move, that makes our minds move, and we want to like do something. And think about it, when you move by a flash mob, your interest is immediately perked and you want to know, what is this about? So I think being in public, moving and singing and hearing these songs is going to just spark so much interest. And then we can talk about this very important now I'm losing this English word, task that we have with the Don't Diss the Vote, the actual voter registration and getting the disability vote out. And I wanted to say one thing. I know choreography is a big, kind of scary word. Don't think about that. Think about coming together, moving your body, having some structure, and having lots and lots of fun.
So what if someone doesn't consider themselves to be a dancer? How can they participate? And what do you mean by an integrated dance?
Oh yeah, those are really great questions. Oh my gosh. So when I say integrated dance, I actually mean that we gather people with different bodies together. And we all have a same task, which could be like, hey, let's make really powerful shape with your body. So your powerful shape, Julie, is going to look very different probably from mine. But yet we might see some very similar qualities in our shapes and say, oh, I can see Julie is putting her arms like that. I can see where the powerful in is in her. So when we gather in that way, we can make the movement and the flash mob fun and accessible, and everybody can feel successful. I already forgot, what was your second question?
I wanted to know, what if someone doesn't consider themselves to be a dancer? How can they participate?
Oh, there's a lot of ways to participate. We have also ArtSpark Texas has this Go project, which is an AISD, the Austin Independent School District project for 18 to 22-year-old young adults with disabilities, mostly intellectual and developmental disabilities. And our visual art program has been working with signage. So these young adults have been actually creating like Don't Diss the Vote signage. So you can come and be part of this wonderful feeling and community by just holding a sign and swaying it left and right or up and down or corner to corner, however you want to. And maybe then I can come and tell you, look, you're already moving, so come and join the dance. So I think what ArtSpark Dance is also doing is dismantling this idea how a dancer looks like or what dance is like. So if you're curious about it, I think you should totally join us.
Linda, can you tell me what we can expect for the plans that are being made for the Don't Diss the Vote flash mob?
You bet. Each portion of the day will have separate recordings in different locations. We're very, very fortunate to be granted permission to videotape on the Texas Capitol grounds. We will be recording outdoors, but we do have a staging area inside, a huge room that will serve for our meals will be served, and where you also will learn the choreography, and you can register to vote, or you can make a sign. So this giant indoor space is where we'll meet first, and before each part of the day. So in the morning, between 9 and 9:30, we'll gather in the at the North Plaza of the Texas Capitol, and you will be escorted to this legislative conference center, so you're not feeling lost and confused about where to wander around these grounds, because it is huge. And then we'll serve breakfast, a hot breakfast for everyone that's participating, and you will get your T-shirt, which will come in 4 beautiful colors, and that will be given to you as a gift for doing this with us. And then we will explain. The choreographer and Silva and the principal dancers will be there to explain what is going on with the dance itself, as well as the director. He'll be there to explain how it's going to be videotaped. And then we'll go upstairs to the North Plaza or the exterior rotunda, and that's where we're shooting on Saturday. So the same thing will be repeated in the afternoon. But if someone is trying to decide whether or not they want to come for just the morning or just the afternoon, I would really like to encourage folks to come for the afternoon segment, because at the end of the day, when we're through recording the dance itself, we're all going to make our way to the AFL-CIO parking lot, which is a couple of blocks from the Capitol, and we're going to use a drone to do the final portion of the dance, which is a giant mob of people looking up at the sky screaming, vote, vote, vote. And we have a drone, and the reason we have to leave the Capitol is they don't allow drones, except with huge security clearances, to be used on the Capitol Mall grounds. So that's, if you do want to come, I encourage you to come in the afternoon. You'll get a hot lunch, and we have plenty of snacks. We'll have craft services, just like a regular film shoot. And this, like Silva said, it's there for y'all to have fun. You're going to, anyone who participates is going to be a part of something that's pretty remarkable. And that's, 1 is a flash mob, and 2 is a way to get the word out about how important it is to get out the vote.
And people that come to be in this, what should they wear? How should they dress for this?
That's a very good question. I would really encourage people to dress for the weather, whatever it may be at that time, and if possible, dress all in black. And then we will have you put these T-shirts that we're providing over outside of your clothes.
And Silva, you spoke earlier about how different people may do a shape differently using their abilities. And my next question is about how will you make people with disabilities feel comfortable around real dancers? And I ask that because I'm in a wheelchair and I don't consider myself a dancer, and I have very limited range of motion. I'm thinking, well, what can I do other than just sit there? So how will you help me kind of break the ice with that role?
So when we talk about principal dancers, we have a principal dancer who uses a motorized wheelchair. We have a principal dancer who uses crutches.
So the real dancers are people with disabilities.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. That's what we are about. So you will fit right in. You will feel at home. Our choreographer is a very lovely woman whose intention and meaning is to make this feel successful and good for all of you. We want you to feel like you're part of this. And so representation is very important. So we will have people with disabilities as principal dancers.
So you're both very creative, you're both very passionate, you're both using your power for the power of the disability vote. What is it that you hope will happen because of this flash mob video, this song, the choreography? What is it that you hope will happen in the state of Texas because of everyone coming together on January 15th? And I know you've already spoke on that, but I mean from your heart, from your passion. What is the biggest dream you have for this event?
I want it to go viral, of course. I would be just so honored if 100 people show up at the Texas State Capitol on January 15th at 9 in the morning, ready to go for the day. I would be beyond thrilled about that. And in order for us to get an idea of who all is coming, I would like to point people towards the revuptexas.org website. And just below on the news and events is the entire who, what, where, why, and how, and also a link that will take you to a registration page that will ask you just for your name and your t-shirt size and when you want to come. And if you could register just to give us an idea of how many folks are going to be there. But speaking from the heart, I believe this is an extremely beautiful and creative way to get a very large, diverse group together with the same commonality, with the same desire, is to move their bodies through space in a joyous and passionate way to share the message of don't diss the vote.
That is beautiful. Silva, what is your highest hope for all this creativity and passion coming together?
Well, I mean, Linda said it so beautifully. I really don't have anything to add. And I would just echo the idea that within a week releasing this, we would start seeing other people doing this with diverse groups of people talking about disability voting rights and disability vote and making their own shapes of strong and powerful and vote and making their own signages. And that would just be amazing to see.
Okay, so can you give me an idea of how you hope that this will turn out, the disability vote, this product that we're creating?
One of the elements is that we will have a voter registration table there at the in the room with us where we eat and practice, so people can register to vote. But in addition, we are hoping that this packet, this toolkit that will be disseminated throughout Texas, will encourage people to use it to therefore encourage others to get out and vote. It's really important to understand what Rev Up stands for, and that's why this podcast is really awesome, Julie, and you do a really great job. And as you said at the beginning, it's register, educate yourself about those issues that matter, and vote. That's what the V stands for, vote. And then, of course, just like the podcast, use your power. And that's exactly what this t-shirt's going to say. The power of the disability vote.
And it's hard not to jump in there because this is the perfect opportunity for people to use their power. It's not just wait for election day and go and vote. You can join in on community events like this. It should get people excited and stirred up and coming together. As you said, earlier in your introduction, galvanize people with disabilities. We are increasing the power for others when we increase the power for ourselves.
The disability community in the state of Texas is an extremely powerful one. And just like they started using terms like soccer moms or college educated people, people with disabilities make up a huge part of this state. And if folks think about the issues and vote about the issues that matter to them personally, the disability vote would be extremely powerful in the state of Texas.
I agree. So I'm going to wrap up here. Thank you both for joining us today and getting us revved up and excited about this wonderful creative opportunity. I love the way it pulls in all people with disabilities to use their creativity and their power for the disability vote. I want to remind everyone that you can use your power right now. You can go to www.revuptexas.org and you can sign up as a member. You can volunteer as a regional representative to disseminate information on the power of the vote. You can like this video, subscribe, share it. You can also donate. We mentioned that there was a grant that was available that helped pay for this wonderful production. Well, that money will run out. That's another way that you can use your power right there while you're watching this video. So I thank you both and use your power.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Y'all turned up the like a friend. It's been so nice to see you, and I wish your friend